darlings, I'm going to be doing a story time about when I moved into my house. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm actually kind of spooked out doing this video when I'm by myself at night. So let's hope that that's it and nothing weird happens, because I'm pretty sure my room is like the creepiest room in the house. So the last owner died in the backyard. I think I don't know for sure the details, but I think it was ruled like as an accident or something. From from the details to me, it sounds like she probably committed suicide in the backyard. But I have so many theories that I'm not gonna talk about on the internet on how, like, I think someone killed her, but I don't know because I didn't know the lady or anything. It's just like the details I've heard about it. So the lady died outside the backyard. She drowned. We don't have a pool, by the way. There used to be an above ground pool, and here I am saying I'm not gonna talk about it, and I'm going into details of it. Anyways, when we moved here, it just kind of felt like off until I started painting like all the rooms to like make it feel more homey, like for myself and my partner. Then it started to feel more like it was my house. But before, like, it just felt like I could feel like a presence or multiple. Yeah, there are like so many stories of creepy stuff that I have experienced here. But I experience weird stuff even like no matter where I go. I always experience like just weird things or like paranormal, I guess. So there was one time when I was working at Universal Studios, like for horror nights, and I was packing my lunch. I was packing my lunch, and I heard a weird noise coming from the garage. So it's like my kitchen. There's a wall between my kitchen and the garage, and it sounded like banging, like if somebody was on the other side of the wall. And I tried to ignore it. I thought it was so weird, but in my head, we had just like kind of moved. So I thought like maybe like some boxes fell over that we hadn't unpacked or something. I also was not about to go check, because we all know that's how you're the first one to go in a horror movie. And like she was inside the kitchen with me, and she just kind of looked confused, like what the fuck. But my other dogs were outside when that noise first happened, or my one other dog. And then once my other dog came inside, it happened again, and he started like to panic. He was freaking out and like barking towards like the wall of the garage, and I was like, what the fuck. And I just like I feel so bad now, because I just grabbed my things and like I bounced. I was like, fuck, I'll just leave earlier to work, like who cares, like I'm not staying and finding out. I do feel bad because I feel like I abandoned my dogs when this was happening. The next day, and it happened like it was like 11, I think it was like around 11 a.m. So that was the first time. And then the following day, I was getting ready again, and I was in the kitchen, and I was like, oh my god, like if something happens, I'm gonna trip the fuck out. And it did. It fucking did. Like, it was so creepy, and it sounded like louder. It was like one like giant like boom, like someone was slamming the wall, but like if it was the fucking Hulk just like slammed the wall. Like I felt like the house shook. And we do have like sonic booms here sometimes, but that's not what it was. Like, sonic booms make the whole house kind of shake. You hear from outside, but it's still really loud and scary. But that was like straight up coming from my garage. And the second time that happened, I panicked. I ran to my neighbor's house, and I was like knocking on her door. She never came out. She was home. So I just like left work, and I was like, what the fuck. And all these times I was by myself at home, because my partner had like, he was at work already, and I was like barely getting ready to go to work. Then the third day, the second day happened the same time as the day before. So like when I left, I kind of noticed like it happened around the same time. So the third day, I was kind of like, I knew I probably would be late to work, because I'm like, I'm gonna stay in my room a little longer before I go downstairs and prep my meals or anything. I don't even know if I prepped any meals for myself that day. Whew. And like the third day was, I was in this room, and I was like waiting for it to be 11 something, and like once it passed like a minute after that time, I was like, I didn't hear nothing. I'm just like out of bed, like it's fine. I told myself that it was me and that I was tripping out. It was not okay. As soon as like my foot was about to touch the floor when I was stepping out of bed, that's when I heard it. Mind you, I'm like on the second floor, and not next to my garage, so it was like a surprise to me. And I ended up hearing it from the ceiling, like from the attic. So that was like more traumatizing because since we moved here, I always hear things in the attic, which I'll make a whole other video about that because it like got pretty bad at some point. But it fucking felt like a plane crashed into my fucking house. Like the ceiling, like I felt like a dome, and like it was like right above my bed where I felt like the bang. And I think I was crying by that point. Like the third day, I was crying. When I got off work that night or like the next morning, because Universal Studios is like Horror Nights is like all night, so I wouldn't be back home till like early in the morning. Um, I was done. Like it was 3 days in a row. I was by myself those 3 days, and I was so fucking scared. And I ended up texting someone and sleeping over a friend that I had at the time. I slept over her house, and I was like, I can't go home. Like I cannot be by myself when something so creepy keeps happening. Um, yeah. So that's the story. At that time, when I stayed with my friend, I realized that because I had just gotten like I got my first camera at that time for the front yard, and I didn't know that you could put the notifications for sound. Like I thought it was just recorded like people or movement, but it has like a setting like package drop off, sounds, people, like it has a bunch of settings, and I did not know until I stayed at my friend's that day, and I was checking like the camera, and then I I I put the setting for sound, and it notified me around that time that there was sound like coming from the house, like from the front yard. But there was nobody in the front yard. And when I heard it, my heart dropped and I was like, what the fuck? Like it wasn't like the bang, but like it sounded like something was trying to get in my house, like slamming from outside. Um and the recording did that. It ended up doing that I think like all day or maybe the following day. There was one day where like it recorded like weird shit like all day. Um I have some of the recordings, and I will be adding them to the end of this video. So